Yes, everyone, good morning. Another video here from me, the Tokyo real estate man. And the other day we did, this is kind of going to be an Akasaka part two video. I talked about a couple of Akasaka properties in a video, and I do have a client in San Francisco, and I went there to see these two properties the other day with Nakamura, and I thought we could just look at we could again look at these two listings. I thought it was I watched the video myself again, which I don't always do. I watched it again, and I thought it was actually pretty good. Of course, I would think it's pretty good because it was all my thoughts. But at the same time, we had the viewing the other day, and if you didn't see the other video, it was the one about Akasaka, which this is really like the best sort of address that you can get in Tokyo, and really it's borne out through these valuations. And the reason I like these two properties again is you see most of the stuff is red. Not only red, there's other kind of stuff too here that's involved here, but these two were right near Akasaka Station right there. I've had a apartment redeveloped just down the street, so I'm pretty familiar with this area. And I thought there were two good units that I talked about in the video, and I thought now that I went to see them, we could just watch the video of me going to see them again and just talk about other things that would sort of reinforce it. There's other conversations. These videos, I try to make them short, but they end up always being longer because they end up being like these. There's just so much to talk about all the stuff when you're looking. That's what's so interesting about it all. Anyhow, this is the. I have to go to the full screen here, I guess. Let me see here. What do I do here to get it working here? It says go to the. Can I just push this there and it'll open it? Maybe that'll just open it right there and it'll go on the full screen right there. And I think that's what it's doing. I can. I think I have to turn down the sound here though too on this because if I don't. Sorry, low tech Tokyo real estate man. What a joke! I know. Okay, we last Friday I was just doing my taxes. I handed my taxes, and then Nakamura and I got together. He came down in his motorcycle, and then we went to see. I guess came. We went to see a couple of apartments, and yeah, he's been a really good friend of mine for many years, Nakamura. And not only that, he's been like a really good counsel as well. When I'm in the shit, when I was getting audited, I phoned Nakamura. Put it that way. And this is the Lions Mansion one, and then we're gonna go see right there. And then I also do this as a process for people to see that I'm just on the up and up right there. So this is the agency. We went to the seller's agency. We went up to pick up the key, and then there's other people that are seriously want to audit me. I understand. This is the name of the agency, and it's in Aoyama. It's called Green Seed. Anyway, we'll go keep going on it. And both these properties in Akasaka and that agency, Green Seed, is in Aoyama. They must be doing pretty well. They got a full floor there on the fifth floor of the building there, so they're a beneficiary of the Tokyo real estate bull market. Anyhow, I'll cut back here to the map listing here. All right, and I think yeah, this is this one right here. Okay, and this is the one for 3,900 mon. This one right here. I'll get rid of the picture here and. Right there, and it's from At Home, 3,990. It was call it 4,000 mon, and it was a 30-meter space. And yeah, I can just go through the pictures quickly through it all here. And then, I mean, the video portion is going to go through it all, but there's so much stuff to talk about as well, too. And that's the building right there. So we'll come back here to the video. Am I right there? Which one is it? Yeah, it's the one right there. And yeah, that's this is the building right here. This is the second time I've done this video because I did it earlier, and my audio that I'm speaking on here in the original video here wasn't coming up. Anyhow, there's things to talk about in this building here, though. It's a tile building from. Building was built in 1977, and it's kind of still demonstrative of the sort of maybe early second wave of tile building, and the tile is really nicely done right there. But you can also see like this is a very proactive strata council or owners council because all these windows have been updated and replaced. So just always talk about in the videos, the window technology in Japan really takes its leap forward in the 1990s. And this is just a sign of like an older building in a great location, right? And they have the fund is full of money, and they use it, and they use it wisely. And doing the windows and redoing the windows is something I've had it done on a two-bedroom unit that I have in Sangenja. And I went in there after the construction was done, and like before, the windows from the this age, I think, was built at the very same time, from the late 70s. Like, they're just terrible. And then now when you open it, it's all smooth, and the glass is really strong. It's much just better. It's great. Anyhow, uh, I can remember panning the video around, and you can see there. I think there's a building right here that's in the very sort of same vintage, and you can see that this building without the tile, it doesn't look as good as the stuff. Look, you can actually see here in the picture, here in my small picture, like the small picture of me on the bottom. The tile here on the building of the same vintage just looks better than it does than this one right here. And I don't know, like this has got definitely better balconies and stuff like that though as well. But this is a look at Akasaka. And then my unit that I own in Akasaka, which has actually been crushed, is about a kilometer away, just down the street that way. But you can see there, it's right actually in front of this building, which is, I think, the Akasaka Sakas, if I'm not mistaken, which is where TBS is, Tokyo Broadcasting Systems. Anyhow, we'll keep going here. Like, we're going to go into uh, the building in a second, but you can just, it was a really nice day that day. And there's like, oh yeah, this is a kind of a good point that I want to talk about here too. And this is, it says here, this one says Minatoku, and this is Akasaka, and this is Yonchome. Akasaka is a really good kanji. A lot of traditional Japanese real estate investors love this one because it means hill. Aka means red, so you can imagine it means like red hill and stuff like that. I don't know. You can think that the leaves in this area might have looked nice in the summertime back in time immemorial. Anyhow, it's on a escarpment, and the reason that Japanese traditional investors like this is because it's considered the high land in Japan's earthquake area. So good kanjis for this would be Saka, or like Aoyama. Yama is mountain, or Dai, which is plateau. Aoba Dai in Shibuya, right here, for example. Where this apartment is, it's on Hikawa Dai, which is a plateau. So it's that's considered like just quality land. And you can see that there's the tile. Beautiful tile work though. I love the alternating pattern right there. It's harder to grout though when you do it. It was a beautiful day again. Yeah, you can see the towers, the office towers there of Akasaka, stuff like that. So sort of a very sort of like, it's a political neighborhood, Akasaka, because the seats of power are right there. That's where the I guess the Senate and the Congress of Japanese Congress are. So, yeah, it's a very nice building. It's really well maintained. Just great. I just really like it. It's just like, it's totally of that late 1970s vintage, but it's just, there's little things like this one here you might like. Of course, you're not necessarily gonna know it, but these doors in these kind of vintage apartments, like of this vintage, the really proactive councils have updated them. So again, they did the windows, and then at one point when they had a little bit more money, maybe 8 or 9 years later, they redid these doors, and these doors are just, this is a really good kind of door design for the older population, because it's really light to open and stuff like that. Whereas the doors before this were a heavy metal door. I like them because you can paint them. The heavy metal door, I've painted them in funky ways before, like in bright reds and stuff like that. Like in red, like I like the metal ones too, but this is a good design too. It's a really, and it's easy to use door that's not a knob, because you can just pull it. Sometimes a knob too can come off if you don't tighten the that one screw right there, the tightening screw. Anyhow, blah blah blah. And I think the real estate, the seller's agent is going to come down. Was interesting. I had a chat with him, and the owner of this apartment is indeed a Chinese investor, and he has about, I think, 8 or 9 units here in the neighborhood, and he's looking to sell them all so that he can acquire a apartment on an upper floor in a tower mansion. Anyhow, I'm going to go into the apartment right here, and always put your slippers on. And I think I was talking also to this real estate agent, and everything in this apartment was renovated about 15 years ago, and it looks about 15 years sort of old in that way. Anyhow, look out of the balcony, which is kind of this is about a 2 meter. I didn't go out because it was kind of dirty, and I didn't want to bring that dirt back into the apartment. But I was able to establish a shot of it and everything there. And I used the word here in the original video where it can't hear me. I call it Kaihokan, which is like the open. So nothing blocking it. That's the air conditioner unit there. Uh, and there's nothing like blocking it right there. Of course, like I guess that in the summertime when there's more leaves on those trees, but trees been pruned back. So lots of pruning happens here in Tokyo compared to Vancouver. This pruning of trees happens a lot. Anyway, side comments. And then we'll go into the unit. And again, you can tell it's about 15 years old. And everything, there's no gas though in this apartment. Everything is electric. And this building is very interesting because it has a central hot water system, which is not the norm. Even here, like in this apartment, I'm here in Shibuya right now, the hot water system is got a what is it called, on-demand unit on the balcony here as well, and the gas or the kitchen stove is on gas, but this is all electric. So um, and I don't know if that's good or bad because in Japan, electricity in Japan is more expensive now, but it's just what it is. It's just the function that is there for that apartment. You can see everything is like just a little bit older and stuff like that. So yeah, there's like waves of sort of yeah. I think he was just telling me right now that it was a central sort of system in the building, and there's waves of sort of design in Tokyo, like there is anywhere else. And this was that sort of popular look about 15 years ago. This is important here. There was no electrical at the at this point in time. This has kind of happened in Tokyo since all these smart meters have been put in. Before the smart meters were put in, you could come in and do a showing and then turn the breaker on, and there would still be electrical, right? There was a master breaker that you could turn on, you could have electricity. But now with the these smart breakers and stuff, or the smart meters like this, uh, in order for you to hook up, let's say, for example, you bought this unit and then you wanted to move in, you have to hook up at an exact time. Like, let's say today is the 20th of March, right? So it would be like you'd have to, like, at 20th of March at 11 a.m., the power will go on. And then Tokyo Electric will then have it all set on the smart meter. So I wish the smart meter wasn't there. I was fine with the regular meter, but like no one ever like consulted us on whether we're going to have smart meters or not. But that's why you can't have the power now when you go in to do a showing. You used to be able to do it. Anyhow, here in the bathroom area, there's a split. It's split, which is really important. You see there, and that's a seimendai for but that's the most attractive sort of thing that you're going to see. For example, this apartment my apartment here in Shibuya that I'm in right now, it's not split. It's shared, which I like shared, but it's not an issue for me. But for the Japanese marketplace, that split bathroom is just more popular. The idea of like bringing the dirty, like for example, pee or poo poo stuff into the bathing area is just, yeah, it makes a lot of sense too from that, like you want to keep it separate, so that makes sense too. The reason I like it together is because you can clean them together though too, right? So which is why I like actually the Thailand system, which is like how you have the shower and the toilet together. I like that system. Anyhow, this is about it. I think I wrapped up this sort of end video right here. But that was us in the showing the other day. I don't think that the person from San Francisco was really, this was really pushing that person's budget, but he was just interested in that uh, particular unit because of his address. But we went to see two that day, and we'll talk about the other one right now. And we can go back to the picture of this one here. We saw all the pictures of it there. I think I reviewed it pretty well. There's just a lot of, one of the things that I like about the Akasaka is just a lot of sort of potential for like redevelopment and everything like that. But let's go here to the second listing, which was which is a little bit cheaper. This was for 3,500 a month, and also bigger. So that's why I like this one. Now, in this video that I made, I don't think the audio is going to come up, and I made a kind of a funny video and stuff like that because in the shorts and stuff like that, I tend to like to have some fun and make a funny sort of video. It's like almost me trying to be a stand-up comedian or something like that. But actually, I made fun of the listing, but I didn't really not like it. It's this kind of listing that I really like a lot, and that's the building right there. And well, what happens is that I'll come back to this other picture here. I'll put it on the building. This building is very well managed. In fact, I would give this building almost like 90%. Okay, a very, very high rating, which is good. It's good in a way if you want to have a unit like that. But this building right now, I would say it's almost managed at a 4.5. It's actually poorly managed. And I like buildings like this in a way because I wouldn't like them anymore. But for example, I have a Shibuya, another unit I have here in Shibuya. I have a unit the same size, and I have it in this kind of 4.5, or I would call it like a lazy building. And I like these kind of buildings. I used to. I wouldn't like them so much anymore. What happened in my 30s and my 40s, I was trying to squeeze my units for all the juice I could get out of them. And that's kind of why I don't need to squeeze anymore. But in a building like this that is not so tightly managed, for example, you could, for example, probably get away with month, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, like rentals and stuff like that. So not quite Airbnb, but almost Airbnb. Like, for example, people have to have stuff for at least a month. But for given this location, for example, if someone had a contract for 3 weeks at a very premium, and you could then write the contract as for a month and stuff like that, that's the kind of thing that you could kind of do. I think you could use this for a little bit of squeeze, I would think. And the other thing that I like about these two properties, what I talked about, is just really the top value land. I'll develop that at the very end of the video, but we'll go here to the short that I took the other day. And in the short, I was making fun of it, but actually, I liked it a lot. And not only did I like it a little bit when I was there, but on reflection coming home, that's the way my mind works. Sometimes I need just time to filter things on my sort of in my reflection period. I actually kind of liked it. And yeah, there's the listing paper on the ground, and there you see the tatami. It's pretty. Yeah, I mentioned. I'm not sure if the audio is coming through here yet, or I call it. And I had these ghosts on there, and I said that I thought this apartment was terrible. But actually, like when we look at the closets here, I'll come back to it. Yeah, the location is really great. But like any of these closet doors, to replace them and stuff like that, it's not very difficult at all. And all the actually integrity to your closet, this oshire, which is a traditional Japanese closet, is all in place. So you could simply fix this room up by changing the tatami, okay, and probably putting on new closet doors. And the paint on the wall or the wallpaper on the walls, you could basically, if you just took your time and painted it well, I think you could get away with that as well. So, and in the other room, I'll develop another point because the carpet was really bad. But this could be something very minimal you could do here as well. I don't know if the audio went through, but I mentioned right here that it's going to need about $50,000. Yeah, I think that might be an exaggeration. Actually, I think that you could get the tatami probably done in the other room for $3,000 or 30 mon, and maybe $5,000 to fix that other room up. And this room that we're in right now, I couldn't really tell because again, there's a smart meter in here. We couldn't turn any of the power on. Maybe all it needs is that you paint it, and the carpet needs to be thrown away. There's no question about it. But you could probably cut that carpet up and then throw it in the garbage and just order a new carpet. So you could almost do this renovation in this apartment for $5,000 or $6,000. And you know what? The washroom, if it works, you don't need to replace it. And if that kitchen works, you don't need to replace it. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to think on a very like maybe you want to update it nicer and you can, and that would cost 50 or 60,000 Canadian dollars, or in Japanese 500 mon. But if you didn't want to, you could still run this and run it, just cash flow it like on a minimal level. And I know what I would do with it. Like I would just come in and like probably gut it a little bit, and then I would project manage it and strip it down to the concrete, and then I have a way of just painting concrete and stuff like that, and so that the wallpaper. It's just like going forward. I love having I like exposed sort of concrete that's painted white. I really like that because it's bright and it spreads a lot of the light into the room. I'd probably get rid of the tatami room and I'd probably put down the flooring myself, and I'd talk to a contractor I know in Nagano, and I'd get him to come down here for 2 or 3 days, and we do the floors. I do the floors with them. Yeah, I would just order everything. I would order on Rakuten, where I always used to order my floors, bring it down there and do it. But I would just paint everything first, and then at the end, I would just do a really nice job with the lighting. I would make custom lighting and just do some cool wiring and stuff like that. That's what I would do with it, and I'd probably do it for about 10,000. Yeah, I don't think that kitchen is all that bad. Yeah, this is the really sort of weird thing. Usually these are on the balcony. When you come here, I talked about it earlier that you see these sort of on-demand hot water systems. Like the one I have on the balcony here has an exhaust, like an exhaust sort of not port, but you know, like there's those louvers that come out for the exhaust that come out. So I made a joke here in the video that I thought that the this being inside and the exhaust was going to be put out in the inside. That's not the case. The exhaust is going out an exhaust pipe out to the balcony in the back. And here, the cold water is likely coming in here, and the hot water is going out here. So the cold water comes in here from the Moto Sen, or the original line, okay, and then the hot water is going here to the washroom and the kitchen over here. So I'm just not used to seeing this inside. That's all. And I probably was done because it was an older building, and this was the best place they could put it in, to get the job done. Or maybe there was not enough room on the balcony or a place to put it outside. Or they didn't want to run the pipes all the way out to the balcony as well. That's the other thing. But the other thing, when you have an exposed concrete wall, and you could put this stuff that's on the concrete wall, you could just run your pipes along the concrete wall. And if you do a really nice job with your brackets, it's actually really decorative, in my view. Yeah. Yeah, so that gives you the skinny on both those places we went to see him. And I wanted to just put it together in a video right here that we could, there's so much, like I did these videos, but there's so much more to talk about when you're doing these sort of videos. The other thing we could do, I come back here and like look at some of the location of like where these were. Both these listings, I should say, and everything are what's known as show you can, or like total ownership. We'll go here to the map, and you can see here that I referred it to in it the other day, and yeah, uh, like the king, okay, the emperor, okay, that's all that land right there. Like it just pisses me off. That's all his land, okay. That's all his land. Not only that, okay. So so is all that, okay. It's all that, and it's in the best area in Tokyo, okay. And then regular people were not allowed any of this, okay. There too, it extends to there, okay. And you could even connect here as you come here, Meiji Jingu, okay. No one can own any of that land either. Like I just get a little mad about it. I just I'm sorry, it's a little just point of contention, right? And it's just held because they just want to have it for themselves, right? And then like, do they need all that themselves? Sorry, it just gets me a little upset. And like the the regular people, like we're down to in the best sort of areas, like this is the best we can get, okay. And that's why I think like I'm trying to get, not only am I trying to get, this is the, by the way, here in here, this is all the political diet is all in here either, and there's no places that people can live. So I'm just trying to get people like to look at apartments in these strategic political, like Akasaka. I always talk about the red pill Okay, this is beyond the red pill. This is like the political pill, because this is like a political area. Okay, full of like uh, all the politicians are here in this area, right? So I'm just trying to get, when I'm getting places here in Akasaka, you're just getting land like in these like really valuable area that's already really restricted. Okay, this is all restricted. Like we can't own any of it. There's a Canadian embassy up here, and there's a park right beside it. People like there's so many of these embassies that have all these plots of land here on all these areas as well, right? That the regular people can't really have. So that's why there's another element to this Akasaka stuff that that are just that comes from like above us all, that uh, kind of, and that's why like I think that this land here is really interesting. Anyhow, they got the Google Maps golden guy, and we'll just drop him here on the street right here. I don't know where I dropped him. Oh, I dropped him inside some restaurant probably. Okay, maybe I got to move the map down so I can drop me us down more strategically, like right there. And yeah, here we go. I think, oh, look at that right across the street from it. That is a redevelopment, like we talked about before. There is the Ritai Chishajo, and there's the building right there. And the other building was about 2 minutes away, just to the right and up the street. Both the locations are really great here. And as I just ranted about, they're just really political as well. I think there was a barber shop down here. This is a real estate agent. There's a restaurant here as well, and that was auto lock. But when you come inside this building, it's really not really been painted very well, and not really well maintained. I mean, they take the garbage out and everything like that. But I think that's also an upside. There's two things that are a real upside for this, because, or three things I would say, because it's like lazy management. Okay, you can try to squeeze it. Now, the other thing that I really like about this is there's only 15 units in this building. Okay, so your portion of the land in this one is higher. And the last thing I like about it, when you're buying in the lazy buildings in these great locations, I think there's a sort of push, for example, to want to go to redevelopment. So already the thinking might be, why are we sticking more money into a building that's going to be redeveloped eventually anyway? Okay, and in that my Akasaka building, for example, that's been the case for the last. I got like a check for like $30,000 of my repair fund money came back to me. So like already that could be already sort of in play. Like this is such a great location. There could be like future redevelopment happening. Why are we gonna try to fix this building up? Let's just like drive it into the ground, like driving a beater, I guess. And that this building doesn't operate like this. The thinking on this one is different. They don't think like that. So it's interesting to talk about this as well, like lazy management or like hardworking management. So it's interesting. Anyhow, the last thing that we could talk about here is like I said, like I know this neighborhood very well, and I was just going to talk a little bit about like my experience with my apartment. I think that's a, yeah, again, see, the Canadian embassy is here, and there's a beautiful park here beside it with maple trees. But like no one, there's all these kind of things. This is the Minato Ward City Hall. Okay, this is the police station. There's so many restrictions in this area for land. Okay, there's just hardly any of it. So that's another element of why I think it's really good to go in there and get a piece if you can in Akasaka. Now, here's like my former. Did I land this right? Yeah, I did right here. This is yeah, this is my former. It's all gone now. Yeah, it's called Akasaka National Court, and this redevelopment is called. If you want to look it up, it's kind of interesting. There's lots of stuff being written about it. This is called the Akasaka 7 Nananoni, I think, or Nananoni, or 7-2 development. And this building now is gone. I had a unit in this building, and it's gone. And then down the street here is this the Sansei building, and this one was gone too. And at the very edge of the street, at the very end there, this was owned by Japan Post, and they this was their what's known as a Rio, or residence for their. This was no, so the Rio is down. This is the Sansei Mansion, and like everyone here, okay, everyone here on here, everyone is 30 okay, or maybe even 40x, depending on which suite they got into. So basically, this building here that was built in about 2010, this one is just going to come over here, but it's going to be the 2027 version of it, I guess. So, and then everyone who owned a unit here is going to get a unit in the new building. They can't dispossess you of your land. Okay, now I went for the most that I could get. Okay, so they were putting all these restrictions on you. Like if you had, like the unit here that I had was like 40 meters, right? So I could only get anything under like I couldn't get anything over 80 meters, but I made sure I got like pretty close to 80 meters, for example, in the new building. Okay, and then I got like, this is the kind of restrictions they were trying to like to put on us. So, but I understand you, and I didn't really do anything, but I thought that the people that negotiated the contract, like basically the men and the women of the owners of this apartment, that sort of committee of 10 people, I think they did one hell of a job. And there was one, actually one man that I really liked him. He had sort of a resistance group, and I joined that resistance group as well. So he was trying to get us a better deal. So, I liked him because he was just fiery, because he didn't think I had to pay some money to get the couple $100,000 to get the unit. Now, he was thinking that he was trying to get us a deal, okay, where we didn't have to pay anything, but because it was of his view that Nomura, okay, the redevelopers, they were the ones coming in here, and we were the possessors of the land. And I liked him, but yeah, ultimately we lost because like we got squeezed by we just get they just squeeze us. They just squeeze us. So anyway, that's a video. There's so much to talk about all of this. Can come back here to the yeah. I don't know. There's not much more to talk about, I guess. But that's kind of like what happens here in Akasaka. Just remember, in Akasaka, the theme of this one here is the main theme of this one here is like this is owned, all this land here, by very few people, okay, or like call it the Tenno-san or the Emperor. All this land here, it juts down to there too, okay, and then these same people have all this as well, right? And then there's all these sort of other sort of buildings around here, okay, that are the agents or the administrators of these sort of groups are all using these other buildings around here. So this is a very restricted supply, and that's the opportunity here. And that's why when you see the high valuations here in Tora Nomon for the new builds and stuff like that, that this kind of thing spells sort of opportunity. And it's truly red pill. And it's red pill, it's almost hyper red pill, okay? When we come back here, this is just the market. This is just the market right here with all these reds around, right? But, oh, what did I do? Did I end up, I think I might have hit the X on that one and killed the map. But it's like almost like a hyper red pill because there's this political element to it that here, and this land restriction that surrounds here in Akasaka. And that's really the opportunity. Anyhow, another real estate video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. You can always come here to my Instagram. Yeah, there's the Delica that's going to Canada. I bought another one. I got two going to Canada now. You can come here to the Tokyo Real Estate Man website. Here, you can DM me. Once you DM me here, if you want, you're really interested in properties in Tokyo and stuff like that, it's always good to download Line, because Line is the information sharing app that's the same as WhatsApp, but it's for the Japanese world. You can DM me here and then move over to Line. After that, failing that, this is how people have been contacting me. They just come here to my website, Tokyo Real Estate Man. There's this contact box, but don't use it. Just give me a straight email and I'll get back to you. Thank you for taking the time to follow this channel. I really enjoy making these videos and working with the clients. ありがとうございます。この動画でもう終わりです。